What's going on, guys, and welcome to another Reddit series. Now, in this series, what I like to do is pick a particular question off of Reddit that has been marked up and hopefully help you guys answer a particular question that you may have lingering or going on in your life, issues you may be dealing with in your life, and things and tools that ideas, thoughts, perspectives that I have used to get through these particular situations. Now, with that being said, I've already pre-selected this question. It is a good question because a lot of different times I think we struggle with different priorities in our life, and it's adjusting those on the fly. You know, when new things come into our life, our priorities do shift. And so this particular question I think is very good into stop quitting, essentially with finding your motivation when times get hard. So without further ado, I would like to go ahead and jump into this question. I don't want to read this one verbatim, but it's we need to stop quitting so easily. We've always given a lot of thought trying to figure out why so many of us tend to quit at the first sign of difficulty. One question became very clear to me. We care way too much what others think. Very true. Humans are extremely social species. Over thousands of years, it is to be socially approved by others around us. In modern times, we still feed off of positive reinforcement from others. I won't lie, it feels good when my supervisor tells me that I'm doing a good job. However, if that's the only thing that motivates me to come to work in the morning, then given total control over my happiness. Once this positive validation stops coming in, then what next? To be able to preserve the face of adversity, I feel like we need to find our internal why, something that comes from completely within. Now, this particular question is quite interesting, right? I mean, we do seek validation, even though there's a lot of times even I talk about, don't seek outside validation. It's hard. We are social creatures. We do want validation that what we are doing is correct. Even myself, I'll drive myself very far in specific things that I'm trying to achieve in my life, but ultimately understanding that I still do look for validation just to make sure that I'm not too far out there. This is why I talk about a lot of different times having a good support system and how important it is to have those people in your life that are like-minded. So that way, you can feed off of each other, motivate each other to keep going. Yes, if you are in a particular position, whatever that's entrepreneur, or if you are have a job or in a particular situation that you don't enjoy, yes, it's going to be hard to find motivation. And so when that first layer of difficulty comes, you are going to lose the motivation and you're not going to want to do it. But with that also being said, you can be doing something you do love, and then the difficult situation may arise. The first time it may be okay, but the third, fourth, fifth time, you may get tired out and maybe not something you want to do. This is why it's important to find something that you lose sense of time and self, whatever that is, right? If it's your job, or if it is something that you are doing, if you feel like you are waiting for the time to pass and time seems like it takes forever to pass, then that is definitely not for you, right? And majority of the jobs, I've had many jobs that way, but I've essentially morphed myself into positions that I do enjoy what I was doing. And ultimately understanding that's where you want to be, is finding that next step. Maybe you are just initially looking for a job, find that job, look for the next job, essentially one that can benefit you better. Once you have a job, it is easier to find another job to essentially branch off of and go to that other job and hopefully one up, right? That last job, make sure you're asking a lot of questions during that interview and stuff like that to make sure that's exactly what you want. Or again, you can go with the entrepreneurial route, although I don't feel like that is for everybody. But being said, that allows you the flexibility to do what you want. But again, you need to make sure that you can, again, support yourself on whatever it is that it is. But being said, ultimately, just looking back at this, it really does come down to aligning what you want to complete in life. Again, because a lot of times we always forget that our time is allotted, right? We don't have a mass amount of time. of everything in life, we don't have an abundance of time. And so you have to be very strategic on how you spend that time in your life. Is it for something that you really truly want in your life? Or are you just doing it to pay the bills, or doing it because you've done it for so long, you don't know different? There are a lot of different aspects here that do matter a lot. And when you have adversity, right, you're not going to want to go, right? You realize that with jobs or anything that you are doing, that it's so easy to quit because it's not something you really want to do in your life. And we all know that. And when I talk about, losing sense of time and self, this is where you find your flow, and realize that you'll be your most happiest when you're in your flow. And this can essentially be wrapped in with purpose, and understanding this is where your happiness is, right? You're excited to get up and do these things. Now, the thing is trying to find these things can be a little bit more difficult, especially if you don't have a lot of different experiences in your life, if you don't gain perspective all the time. This is why I push really hard on these particular things, because of the fact that, once you find that thing that you lose sense of time and self, then you find your motivation, right? Motivation is temporary, even when you get in flow, but you realize that when you're in flow, it's very easy to fall back into motivation, and realize that it is also very important to follow your curiosity in finding these things, right? Read a book or experience things, go out and try something you've always wanted, you've been curious about, and realize that one thing you thought you wouldn't enjoy, you start enjoying, and then you kind of learn the intricacies and the details of that particular thing that you're trying to learn about, and then that starts boosting your motivation to want to do it more. And then by doing this, you truly start to live life, and quitting isn't something you want to do, right? Because you enjoy it. This is why you should have those things in your life that you enjoy, right? Like, what is your outlet? Like, when you get off work, what is your outlet? Now, those are the particular things you need to focus on. And okay, well, if it's playing video games, well, how can I make this a business, right? Now, I know entrepreneurship isn't for everybody, but if you really want the flexibility to do what you want in life, you need to set the stage to be able to do that, right? Whether that's a job, or whether that is becoming an entrepreneur and developing something out of it that's essentially tied into gaming, right? Or find a way to make it work for you. Because ultimately, just some job, you're just doing the job to pay the bills. So yes, you're not going to have motivation, because the reason why you're doing it is to pay for your basic necessities. It has nothing to do with your desire to want to do something. And so you have to find those things that, again, energize you to want to get up and do it. And again, that may take time to get to that point, but ultimately realize you're quitting because there is no desire there. And this is why even going on a diet can be hard, right? Because going on a diet, you think about all the things that you're going to lose, as opposed to the things that you'll gain, right? Like being healthy, being fit, and enjoying life, and not being in pain, right? And getting out and be able to run at a young age, or at an older age, right? All these other different benefits you could have. Instead, you're more focused on, and then you're more apt to worry about those things that you're missing out, the foods and stuff that you're missing out on. But ultimately, what you understand here is that you always want to look at things that will help benefit you and align you with your goals. And then when doing this, you have to audit a lot of different things and remove a lot of different things that don't align with this, and realize that it will take some time, right? Again, if you are young, right, there's a lot of different things you aren't aware of. But at an older age, when you gain more experience, you realize that there are specific things that you just won't tolerate anymore. And that's the way you need to come at it, right? Is it something that is going to feed you energy or take away from your energy? And realizing what actually does, how that actually affects you, being aware of this, realizing that if you go into work and you're just completely exhausted, that the work bleeds into your after your life outside of work, right? And realizing that when this starts happening, it can be anything, right? It can be a relationship, can be work, can be entrepreneurship, can be anything in your life. or realize that when it starts bleeding over and taking over other aspects of your life, that is something when you're auditing that you need to look at and look at removing, and look for those things that give you energy, right? Maybe it's a relationship that gives you energy. Maybe you're hyped. Maybe it's a job. Maybe it's a business idea that really gets you excited to want to get up and start doing it. But ultimately, it is going through your life and doing this and realizing that there's a lot of things that can come into play here. And a lot of times we pick particular jobs because of the things that we want to get, right? We want to get some kind of object, or perhaps it's even some kind of go through some experience in life, right? But not going through a bunch of different hoops to be able to get there, right? There are ways you can leverage your money that you already have to be able to get those things that you want in life. But ultimately, I think about this a lot because I've been researching this a lot more lately. But the minimalist lifestyle and doing more with less, and realizing that there is a very much, he does talk about this, having that internal why, like, why do you do it? Yes, that is important. But when you're talking about a job, the why behind a job is normally to pay for the things, right? Just to put food in your mouth, to put a roof over your head. So the why there isn't strong. So I would agree, when it comes to a job, your why is not going to be strong. And so you have to find things that you do enjoy. Maybe you do enjoy text, you want to get into programming, right? Maybe that would be something that motivates you even more. It could or it could not. It depends on the person. Everybody is different. But again, you want to audit your life and align those things with your destination. And again, always continue to audit yourself, again, because new perspective, new experiences will change that why, and understand that from that point forward, that you can execute, and again, remove those things that don't align with you. And you realize that by doing this, you're a lot more apt to get up, be excited about it, going out and doing it, losing track of time. You're not worried about how many hours you put into it, right? But ultimately understanding this is where you want to be. And this is where it will, stop you from quitting so easily, because you won't think about quitting at all. And it's a lot of different new things that I've incorporated in my life the same way. Like, I don't even think about quitting, because I enjoy doing it. It doesn't even seem like work. That's ultimately where you want to get to. So with that being said, I hope this answers this well. If you do enjoy this video, remember to hit the like button on the way out. And until next time, guys, I will see you guys later.